Greetings from the channel once again. Today we're going inside the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, one of the most sophisticated long-haul aircraft ever constructed, but from two very different perspectives. Cathay Pacific, on the one hand, is elegant, understated, and subtly high-end. Air New Zealand, on the other hand, is distinctly bold, expressive, and modern. Identical airframe, identical engines, same technology. However, there are significant differences between these two Dreamliners in terms of cabin design, materials, passenger comfort, noise, entertainment, operational philosophy, and long-term efficiency. Now let's get started. Overview. What is the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner? Compared to earlier wide-body aircraft, the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner is a long-range wide-body aircraft with superior passenger comfort, advanced aerodynamics, and high efficiency. In terms of size, it falls between the 787-8 and 787-10. With composite materials, cutting-edge systems, and an emphasis on environmental performance, the 787 family represents a generational advancement in aircraft design. Although both Cathay Pacific and Air New Zealand use this model, their approaches to interior design, service philosophy, and operational focus result in different travel experiences. When comparing which is better, it's important to consider how each airline configures, maintains, and operates the aircraft for passengers and long-term performance rather than just the hardware. The airframe is the same. Cabin configuration and design. Cathay's F4B cabin is a reflection of the company's long history of providing first-rate service and placing a high priority on passenger comfort in all classes. The cabin has a refined, understated, and space-focused atmosphere. Business class. Lie-flat seats with a staggered or reverse herringbone arrangement that gives each seat direct access to the aisle. These are highly private spaces with separate consoles, ample storage, and well-placed controls, giving passengers the impression that they are in a private haven rather than just a seat. The color scheme is subtle and elegant, usually consisting of muted tones, soft contrasts, and materials that convey subdued luxury. Premium economy is noticeably more roomy than standard economy, with dedicated leg rests, a wider seat pitch, and ergonomic headrests. The design conveys a sense of personal space and clear zone separation from economy class. Economy, designed with comfort in mind, maintaining ample seat pitch and cushion quality while balancing seat density and layout. The cabin is peaceful and uncluttered, with storage strategically positioned to make passengers feel less crowded. Cathay's designers place a heavy emphasis on flow and clarity. The aisle feels open, overhead bins are roomy but aesthetically pleasing, and color selections are intended to reduce eye strain and enhance a sense of tranquility during lengthy flights. Air New Zealand, with a slightly more modern and whimsical aesthetic, Air New Zealand's approach to the 787-9 interior leans towards a combination of social comfort and brand personality. Business Premier, usually converting into fully flat beds, these seats are known for their cocoon-like privacy. Through clever partitioning and ergonomic seat shells, Air New Zealand usually encourages community while preserving individual space. In order to create a tactile connection to the airline's home nation, Air New Zealand frequently uses colors and textures that evoke natural elements. Premium economy, with its deep cushioning, broad armrests, and ample recline, is designed to create a feeling of seclusion and cocooning from the economy area. The lighting and finish selections aim to produce a cozier, slightly warmer atmosphere. Economy, designed for longer flights across the Pacific and beyond, the seats are both practical and comfortable. While retaining a feeling of space, the palette typically includes richer tones and accent details that contrast with the economy classes of more conservative carriers. With design cues that reflect a Kiwi sensibility, Air New Zealand cabins feel more modern and expressive. They're less formal and more playful, but they're still thoughtful in terms of layout and passenger circulation. Interior materials and finishes. Cathay prioritizes durability and elegance in her material selections. Seat coverings, Designed for long-term comfort and minimal wear, premium leather or premium fabric are used in business and premium economy. Cabin surfaces, wood grain accents in high-end cabins provide a sense of coziness without being outdated, and matte and satin finishes minimize reflections. Lighting trim is subtly integrated into panels and rarely draws attention to itself, supporting passengers' moods during lengthy flights. The overall impression is one of quiet quality, with a consistent thread of subtle elegance that promotes relaxation and a high-end feel rather than loud patterns or overwhelming colors. Air New Zealand. The materials used by Air New Zealand are becoming more modern and tactile. Textures and patterns, subtle woven textiles, natural motif insights, and accent colors distinguish each class zone. Seat backs and trim frequently feature modern yet subtle design elements, balancing soft fabric with metallic or premium plastic interfaces. Lighting and finish integration is done with a sense of playfulness, with zones changing in mood depending on the flight phase or service portion. The materials used in Air New Zealand cabins are chosen to both promote comfort and visually convey the brand's identity. The material choices make sense both emotionally and practically.
4. In-cabin entertainment and connectivity. The 787-9's in-flight entertainment system from Cathay Pacific is extensive and user-friendly. Large individual screens with catalogs of high-definition content. Vast assortment of games, music, TV shows, and films. Rich real-time progress data is displayed on dedicated flight information displays. Almost every seat has USB-A and USB-C charging ports. Packages for connectivity that allow messaging and internet access. The interface design of Cathay feels traditional and sturdy. It is dependable and feature-rich, emphasizing content depth and easy navigation. Although it is implemented slightly differently, Air New Zealand's entertainment system on the 787-9 is equally rich. Displays with responsive touch control and high resolution. A large collection of entertainment that frequently features carefully chosen pieces that showcase regional culture or content unique to a particular location. When streaming services are available, they are seamlessly integrated. Wi-Fi connectivity options and a good infrastructure for peripheral charging are present in many installations. The UI design of Air New Zealand seems a little more modern. Recommendations, menu flow, and animations all showcase more dynamic UI design. 5. Noise reduction and cabin environment. The 787 family is distinguished by its sophisticated cabin environment, which is intended to enhance passenger comfort during lengthy flights. System and structural design. The same fundamental aircraft characteristics are beneficial to both airlines. Composite fuselage that lessens overall cabin noise and dampens vibration. Chevrons that lessen exhaust noise and advanced engine nacelle design. Fatigue is decreased by pressurization at a lower effective altitude than in older aircraft, usually around 6,000 feet equivalent. Enhanced humidity control and ventilation, which keeps the air feeling fresher even after many hours. Together with the aircraft systems, Cathay's cabin fabrics, insulation, and ceiling panels create a calm, enveloping space where background noise is low enough to permit normal-toned conversation even while cruising. When compared to older wide-bodies, many passengers comment on the tranquility. The 787-9 cabins operated by Air New Zealand also have extremely low noise levels. Even in the forward economy sections, the airline's interior finish choices, such as thicker headlining and thoughtful wall textures, slightly improve the perceived quiet. In both situations, the overall operational outcome is that lengthy flights are less taxing, and the cabin atmosphere encourages relaxation and conversation without imposing loud voices or noise exhaustion. 6. Cockpit and avionics. It's important to remember that the 787-9 cockpit is essentially the same aircraft system for all operators. The core design is consistent, but airline-specific training programs, avionics updates, and software options may differ. Features of the Boeing 787-9 flight deck.
Numerous displays in the large glass cockpit integrate navigation, primary flight, engine, and systems data in user-friendly formats. Certain configurations of head-up displays are available to enhance situational awareness. Sophisticated flight control systems that facilitate continuous descent approaches and efficient routing. Improved situational awareness tools, including integrated terrain and weather information. Pilots operating Cathay and Air New Zealand 787s benefit from the same high level of digital integration and automated monitoring that define the 787 family, although training programs vary by airline. In actuality, the flight deck experience is incredibly sophisticated, offering a modern balance between pilot control and automation. Both airlines maintain strict transition and ongoing training programs.
7. Advanced safety features. The 787-9 uses both active and passive systems to provide safety. Flight control computers that are redundant and have several backup routes. Integrated hydraulic, electrical, and engine diagnostics. Systems for terrain awareness and automated conflict checks. Predictive alerts for the Traffic Collision Avoidance System, TCAS. Improved weather radar that can identify turbulence. These systems are fully implemented by both Air New Zealand and Cathay Pacific. Both airlines maintain stringent maintenance and software update programs to keep avionics and safety software up to date, and neither airline compromises on safety systems in their configurations. From the standpoint of safety systems, there's no discernible difference that can be attributed to the airline. Both carriers follow the uniform safety standards mandated by global regulators. 8. Performance and efficiency. Real-world performance is dependent on operational factors such as flight planning, route management, payload handling, and airline efficiency practices, even though the aircraft is technically identical across operators. Capabilities of the Boeing 787-9 outperforms many older wide-bodies in terms of long-range cruise efficiency, reduced fuel consumption due to improved engines and aerodynamics. For the majority of major and numerous regional airports, long takeoff run performance is adequate. Capability for high-altitude cruising that maximizes fuel efficiency and wind. Cathay usually uses its 787-9s for feeder services and long-haul regional routes. With careful crew planning and weight management to balance payload and range, Cathay's operational focus is on schedule adherence and dependability. Cathay's flight planning teams use temperature and wind data on long sectors to maximize fuel efficiency and reduce total block times. The 787-9 fleet of Air New Zealand frequently travels extremely long Pacific sectors where tailwinds and performance optimization are essential. Certain altitudes and speeds that offer the best trade-off between on-time arrival and fuel efficiency may be preferred by the airline's flight planning. ETOPS planning and contingency reserves play a major role in operational decisions because many of Air New Zealand's routes involve long stretches over water. Overall, both airlines extract strong performance from the 787-9, but operational priorities differ based on geography, route length, and schedule density. 9. Exterior and aerodynamics. The Boeing 787-9 has a number of unique aerodynamic characteristics at the airframe level. Advanced wing sweep and raked wingtips are intended to improve lift distribution and lower drag. Composite structure that is lightweight without sacrificing strength. Efficiency and community noise reduction near runways are supported by engine designs with high bypass ratios and chevrons that reduce noise. Smooth aerodynamic surfaces that lessen parasitic drag and improve laminar flow. These features are essential to the 787-9 design and are not changed by either airline. The end result is a sleek-looking aircraft with long wings that appear to flex naturally, supporting efficient cruise performance and a unique silhouette. 10. Baggage space. The experience of passengers and cargo involves taking into account the management of baggage capacity. Hold and cabin design. Compared to previous widebodies, the 787-9's fuselage and hold architecture offer ample cargo capacity. Both passenger baggage and belly freight are supported by the build structural design.
Hold space is usually distributed by Cathay with an emphasis on balancing passenger baggage allowances and cargo revenue. The aircraft's large internal bins make boarding and storage of carry-on luggage easier. Air New Zealand's approach similarly supports robust baggage allowances, particularly for long-haul markets where checked baggage counts are higher. The airline uses sophisticated load planning to ensure even weight distribution and stability. Practically, passengers on both airlines benefit from generous and well-organized baggage handling, with minimal compromise on permissible checked weight within fare rules.
11. Cost of ownership from the airline perspective. The ownership and operating cost profile of the 787-9 for any operator is determined by a number of factors, although specific cost structures rely on airlines' internal accounting. Purchasing and funding. Airlines usually buy the 787-9 directly from Boeing or through leasing agreements because it is a substantial capital investment. Long-term capital and fleet strategy are reflected in financing costs. Fuel, maintenance, crew, airport and navigation fees, and depreciation are all included in the operating costs of a 787-9. When compared to older wide-bodies, the 787 family's efficiency lowers fuel costs, and maintenance plans are made to minimize downtime. Although airlines have different engine maintenance contracts, they usually entail long-term agreements with manufacturers or outside support providers. Engine and maintenance expenses. Composite structures lessen corrosion problems that are typical of metal aircraft. Predictive maintenance is made possible by sophisticated diagnostic systems, which cut down on unplanned ground time. Engine maintenance programs are frequently included in long-term support contracts in order to stabilize cost forecasting. Because of its size and network, Cathay Pacific is able to optimize 787-9 utilization by distributing fixed costs over a large number of flight hours. In order to sustain high utilization and support revenue management objectives, route planning incorporates aircraft deployment. Optimized scheduling and load planning also benefit Air New Zealand. Block hours per day are high because of the length of many routes, which effectively spreads fixed costs over more revenue-generating hours. In both situations, the 787-9's cutting-edge systems and fuel efficiency lower operating costs per seat when compared to older aircraft, improving sustainability and profitability. Conclusion: which is the better aircraft? To be clear, the airframe, engines, and core systems of the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner are the same for both Cathay Pacific and Air New Zealand. Each airline operates and configures its aircraft differently to reflect their brand values, passenger expectations, and route strategies. Cathay Pacific's advantages: elegant, understated cabin design that prioritizes peaceful luxury. Mixed-class configurations that strike a balance between luxury and economy comfort. Sophisticated entertainment and connectivity focused on long layovers and global business. A serene and collected atmosphere in the cabin. If you want a traditional, high-end, subtle, wide-body experience that prioritizes sophistication and service uniformity throughout all classes, Cathay's version might feel better. Air New Zealand's strengths: modern, distinctive, and expressive cabin design. Business and luxury cabins with a slightly whimsical style that inspire personal comfort. Modern, user-friendly entertainment and connectivity. A warm and welcoming atmosphere in the cabin. If you value a more modern, expressive, slightly casual cabin culture without compromising comfort or quality, Air New Zealand's version might feel better. Cathay Pacific's Boeing 787-9 is superior if better is characterized by a calm, traditional, high-end appearance, a solid brand history, and sophisticated comfort. The Boeing 787-9 from Air New Zealand might be more appealing if better refers to modern design, a dynamic interior personality, and a slightly more contemporary interplay of colors and textures, with strong connectivity and entertainment integration. Ultimately, these are two of the most considerate operators of the same magnificent aircraft in the world, each crafting a unique passenger experience on the same technological platform. Therefore, the better aircraft depends on your individual preferences for cabin character, aesthetics, and brand experience. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.